Hi guys, hello, welcome back to another video right here on the channel. So, as of filming, we are in the middle of November. The dark nights are here, winter's here, Christmas is coming. What better chance, what better thing to do than to sit there, grab a few friends and to play a good board game, okay? So the one I'm doing today is Warhammer 40,000 Relic. It is, of course, or maybe for those not in the know, based on the Talisman game system from Games Workshop before they lost the license to Pegasus Spiel. There is a current ongoing long-running series on the Talisman game on the channel. In the past I've covered the Star Wars and I've covered the Batman versions of the game. So today, folks, is the Warhammer 40,000 version Relic. Okay, so there's a look at the front of the box. Typical Talisman fare on the back. What I'll do is I shall read you a little bit of the garb on the back and then I shall unbox the game and we'll have a look at the contents together. Okay, so let's have a look. Relic. Enter the grim future of the 41st millennium. The Imperium of Man stretches across the known galaxy, encompassing millions of worlds, yet it stands at the brink of annihilation. Okay, so there's more Warhammer 40,000 stuff on there, setting the tone. It says, in Relic, 2 to 4 players each assume the role of a powerful individual from the Warhammer 40,000 universe and bravely venture forth to shield the Ancient Sector from certain doom. By completing missions and claiming victory over enemies, characters gain rewards and experience, furthering their chance at defeating whatever lies beyond the Warp Rift. Will you save humanity or fall to the power of chaos? Okay, so it says it contains 10 highly detailed plastic character pieces and obviously all the cards that we know and love. I first found this game via a friend of mine in work, G. He used to be my night partner. He brought it in one night. He knew I had like an interest in 40k. At the time, I'll be honest, I wasn't really that interested in board games. We had a crack. I thought this was hard as nails. I loved it. A couple of days later was payday. I went out and bought it. Okay, that was like 2 years ago, something like that, maybe longer. It took me that long to actually go through all the Talisman versions and everything to actually get round to opening it. Okay, so without further ado, there's your intro. Let's have a look at Relic. So this is a really heavy box, heavier than the Talisman box. Okay, and I'm struggling to open it. It's a good job I opened the cellophane off wrapper, off camera, isn't it? Okay, so there we go. There's your cover. Nothing there. Okay, as is per usual, we get the little Fancy Flight booklet. Advertised Imperial Assault, a big Star Wars game at the time. There probably will be coverage of that on the channel at some point in the next 18 months. Okay, and these are basically just catalogues, you know what I mean? Anyone who's seen any of my unboxings before will know all about the Fancy Flight garb. Massive company, fantastic games. Stop shoving blinking catalogues in every single box, please. Okay, so starting off then, we have a lovely, the artwork on these is really nice if you appreciate your 40k, and I guess you probably do. At least half the people watching this video will be either 40k fans or at least play or have played or heard of the game, with it being that particular variant. So there is the front cover of the rulebook. Okay, on the back we get the turn reference. Again, what you find with these games, I say Star Wars, Batman, this one, is they're essentially Talisman, but they have like slight tiny little tweaks to them. It's always lovely, always to have a copy of a turn guide, the turn sequence. I say it all the time, you know, I play loads of board games, I've played loads over the years since I've been into the hobby. You can't remember every rule, that many different variations of Talisman. It's always nice to have a guide there by you to do it. Again, before delving into the box, this does say it's for like more than 2 players. You can, however, play a single variant. Just pick yourself a character, go around a game and complete the board. You know what I mean? You don't need to worry about this like not being soloable. I've done it on Star Wars, I've done it on Talisman, I've done it on Batman. It can be done. Okay, so straight away, the first thing we see is a nice big pack of tokens. These, of course, just unclip and represent various things. Hit tokens and things like that, okay? I'm not sure whether that's actually, I think that's actually the double side of the tokens. It usually helps to actually either watch somebody else's unboxing of a game, or do a little bit of research first. I haven't done either. I've just gone in blind. Hey, it's me, innit? What can go wrong? Okay, so this is obviously the game board. Like I say, guys, I have played this game before. So I remember the game board being very dark. It's like the sort of galaxy. All locations within the 40k universe are there, or certainly the big ones. So Talisman, as you know, folks, or may not know, you could pick a character, you go around the board, you basically roll the dice, and you've got to move that many spaces. So if it comes up, say 4, then you've got to move 4 spaces either left or right. You land on a part of the board, and there'll be like an encounter there. It'll either say something like, if you roll the dice, it'll tell you what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 are, or you'll bump into, more than likely, an encounter. Across your journey, you will go around and you will pick up allies and things like that, extra weapons, and the actual conflict mechanism is based via cards. So you'll find like I don't know, say a Tyrannid warrior, and he might have like a strength of say 6. So you'd roll the dice and add his 6 onto a dice roll. And like anything you've got, like say your character card might be worth 3, you might have a blaster might be worth 2, and it's basically whoever wins the highest. I think if you fail, you lose a life, and that character stays there. So the next person unlucky enough to land on there is going to face that. So on, so forth. You work your way from the outer side of the board into the middle region, into the centre region, and in the centre region, there's normally something there. Batman as Arkham, centre of Arkham Horror, and Batman to fight off as the villains. Star Wars as a Exegol, where you've got to go face Palpatine. The original Talisman as the Crown of Command, and probably a million other variants with all its expansions. So you get the idea, folks, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open this board up and we'll have a look at it. Immediately, I notice it feels thicker to me than what the Talisman board is, which is interesting. I say the board is really colourful, and I'm going to try my very best to show you that. Let's have a look. Oh my word, I do love these live videos. Let's have a look. So, there is the board. You can see, like I say, it's really, really colourful. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put it right up to the camera and hope the autofocus picks up so you get an idea. You're looking for squares, locations, things like that, folks, okay? There you go, a nice blind shot. I'll only get to see that in editing. I'm going to put this behemoth down and let's move on. So, yeah, is this a game that you'd fancy if you have you played Talisman? Are you a fan of, like, the Talisman games? Have you played Batman? Have you played Star Wars versions of it? Or not? Would you just turn around and go, I'm a big Warhammer 40,000 player. I quite fancy board games, like I did with G. I thought, I like this. Let me know, guys, below what you do, okay? So, it is straight away a pack of the now, I was going to say famous, maybe infamous, Fantasy Flight mini cards. So these guys are things like your weapons, etc. Okay, so there's absolutely loads of them. So you get some like that'll tell you like certain circumstances. You get like others that'll give you like this one is like, say for example, frag grenades. So anybody who likes like the the Warhammer thing, if you play sort of Space Marines, you'll know like what a frag grenade is. You'll know what a blaster is, that kind of thing. I'm looking around just to try and find some. There you go. There's like Death Skull Squigs. Okay, so they have like a 1 on their power. So you'd roll your dice and see if you beat them. Let's have a look. Mutant Renegade. Noxious Plague Bearers. Now they are from the Death Guard, and they have got a 4 strength before we start off there. Okay, so they are going to be quite tricky to beat. So you're basically getting all the different kinds of races from Warhammer 40,000 to deal with. I say the initial impression I had of the game only playing this version once is it is hard, but I honestly do think that like you 40k players out there will really enjoy it. The theme, it just drips from this one, it really does. Putting them over there. Okay, we get a second pack of the cards. What's that there? Okay, a Khorne Berserker. Okay, so it's giving you some ideas. So we've got like basically, I think we've got like the Orcs in here, we've got the Tyranids, we've got the Death Guard, we've got a little bit of Chaos. So yeah, all good stuff. We get a pack with just some standard dice and the little these little black things. Basically, you have like a little panel with your all your scores on, you know, your life and all that kind of thing. They're just used to just clip it together to turn your little dial. And then we get a pack of the actual character busts, which I will show properly in a minute. And then we get our larger cards, which are basic things like your scenarios and stuff like that. Okay, so let's have a look there. Yeah, so there's the Mystery Beyond, the Chaos Manufacturing, Chaos Fate Weaver. I can't even get my teeth in today, honestly. Lost Flagship of Antaeus, Corruptus. So what I'll do is I'll just basically show those. They look like little missions to me, yeah? Okay, different endings and stuff that you're supposed to be doing, your objective, because obviously every game has an objective. On the back of these, there is like a little bit of flavour text as well. There we go. Okay, so again, it's got all that famous Warhammer 40,000 art. Excuse me a second, I've just dropped one. Okay, and then we have, by the look of it, our character sheets. Okay, I'm going to have to just pop the glasses on here, guys, I'm struggling. Okay, so what's this here? So these are your characters, guys, before I show you the busts. Okay, so we got an Ultramarine Captain. Okay, so you can see a set of icons across the top there, and you can see little things like special rules, and in the bottom, strength, willpower, cunning, and life. Okay, so they are basically your characters, and each character you get will build slightly different, and obviously is going to play a little bit different. So that is your Ultramarines Captain there. We have Canoness and Adepta Soriatus. Okay, so again, these will make more sense to all you 40k players there. We have a Sanctioned Psyker, Adeptus Astra Telepathica. Okay, they do like the Latin, don't they? The Imperial Guard. Ordo Melius Inquisitor, and here's a character from the Inquisition. Okay. We have a Tech Priest Engineer from the Adeptus Mechanicus. I'm struggling with these, honestly. Rogue Trader from the Imperial Nobility. Always nice to see one of the rogue traders in there. Calidus Assassin from the Officio Assassinorum. Basically a cool ninja kind of character. A Rattling Sniper from the Imperial Guard. That one certainly goes back to more so you older 40k players. An Ogrin from the Imperial Guard. Again, another older version of a character. And we have a Commissar from the Imperial Guard as well. So you've got quite a range of characters. As I say, these all play differently. They all have different strengths, different skills, different gifts and things like that, okay? So just put that there. Move this over here. I'm going to just make sure there's nothing underneath, okay? And then we shall go through all the little characters. Now, these are nice because they're well moulded. They can be easily painted. Because, again, a massive part of the miniature Warhammer 40,000 hobby is the painting. A lot of folks actually buy the figures, believe it or not, pay all the money just to paint them, and more the power to you. Okay, so what we have here is we have several different colour little mini busts for us to just put our characters on. He says, okay. Wouldn't you know it? I'm trying to put it on and it ain't going. Do they screw him maybe? Anyway, you get the idea, yeah? I'm not going to stand here faffing around them all day. So, there we go, yeah. Right, so you get those for your different colour character busts. Okay, it's like a green one in there as well. And then what you really want to see in it is all these different characters. So I'm not going to go through trying to name them all again because I know I'm going to mess it up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you them as close as I can and hope the autofocus picks up. Okay, so like you can see, there is some like really nice detail in these little fellas, you know. I'm sure people will probably go along and they'll play like the faction that they either play in the actual game or, you know, just something that they fancy. I mean, a variant I often play in these games is I turn the cards over the character cards and I just randomly select one, because otherwise you are just going to turn around. You know, I have various characters in Talisman I like to play and I don't really play anything else. Mainly dwarfs and warriors, tanky kind of characters. You know, so it does do you a good turn sometimes to turn around and say, I will just play that randomly, you know. Step outside your comfort zone, folks. Always a good thing. Okay, so I'll say, what do you think about these mini busts then? You know, I'll say they go on their the little things there, and like they're like your game pieces around the board. I'm not sure. I think you actually have to fight as well if you land on the same square. It'd be the same kind of combat. Anything you have like modifiers, IE cards, character traits like that. Do that, roll your d6 and sort it out. This one's your Commissar. I do recognise him because he's got the big hat. Okay, so one for any Imperial Guard players out there. Tell you what, again, there's a good range of characters, some really interesting characters, Talisman came in the main box, and that had like a similar sort of selection, but then we got a load of expansions with other stuff, which is like really cool. But this seems to have like a really good, little 40k. To me, this is probably like an evening of 40k in a box without having to run out to pay hundreds of pounds on all the different models, building them, painting them, getting all your supplies, glues, brushes, all that kind of stuff. If you just fancy like a quick blast of 40k, hey, why not? You could do a lot worse than like Relic. Like I say, I played this once with a friend. I'm not sure my gaming preferences these days where this will come out too often. I probably wouldn't pull it to the table personally unless I had some like miniature gaming 40k fans, pals coming around to actually do it specifically. I'd probably fancy it as a little solo effort because like I say, it probably is the hardest out of like the Batman, Star Wars and Talisman to play in my opinion. Combat wise and stuff, and with a couple of extra rules, but yeah, certainly not a waste. The people who buy this would be, like I say, predominantly 40k fans and board game fans, that hybrid. Would I say anybody else would buy it? Probably not. I don't think you would. If you saw it on a shelf, you'd say, oh, Relic, Warhammer 40,000. No, Batman, Star Wars, they're the easiest sell, they're bigger IPs. Everyone loves Batman, everyone loves like Star Wars, don't they? But my opinion, it is worth a go. There's your unboxing, folks. We are going to end this series next month of unboxings. In fact, no, we're not. We're going to end the year next month with our unboxings. Teeth back in. With another little treat for you. It is going to be... No, I'm not going to tell you what it is. Come back next month, guys. Join me for another board game unboxing, and I'll see you all next time.